last time you planned a holiday without worrying about last minute cancellations and COVID 19 scares? 2 years of no travel feels like it's been forever since I boarded that flight to an all new destination, waiting to see what the region's nature and culture has in store for me. If you too were hit by the travel bug over the last 2 years, you would know exactly where I'm coming from. Hi there, I'm Disha Sanghvi and welcome to a brand new episode of Insuring India, a podcast by Digit Insurance. With international borders finally opening for leisure travel and a host of must-visit places within our country itself, I'm sure most of you would be tempted to plan that holiday. And why not? A summer getaway sounds just about perfect. Well, before you get too carried away, it's important to be a little realistic and cover all the bases to ensure that you have a relaxed holiday. Are you thinking travel insurance? Well, yes, you should, and you will soon know why. On this episode, I have with me Nikhil Kamdar, our appointed actuary, who will help us answer all the questions that you may have about travel insurance, especially in these uncertain times. Nikhil has close to 10 years of experience in the insurance industry and has contributed across product designing, product innovation, pricing, underwriting, risk management, and strategy. Before joining Digit, he worked with Bajaj Allianz General Insurance Company, Swiss Re, and Mercer. Hi Nikhil, welcome to Insuring India. If my face isn't giving it away already, let me tell you I'm super excited about this episode.
Thank you Disha, and I'm also glad to join and looking forward to hear whatever questions you have on travel insurance and share whatever little insights I have.
So first things first Nikhil, tell us why travel insurance is important and why should one consider it?
Well Disha, again, I am the first person probably when I used to travel, I never used to think about travel insurance. But over the years, I have realized that while travel can take you to the most exhilarating places in the world,
right?
But it also comes with a fair share of risk. It is very advisable to get a travel insurance, whether you're traveling domestic or international. A lot of people anyway get travel insurance for international travel as it's part of the visa requirement process. But I'd rather be safe than be sorry in case if something happens that I don't want to regret later that I have not brought any travel insurance.
Well, that sure does make a lot of sense, Nikhil. But there are so many insurers, with multiple products on offer. Can you help me simplify this? If I were to buy a travel insurance policy today, what are the top 3 or 4 things that I must look for?
First of all, while you're buying a travel insurance, it is important to understand where you're traveling. Suppose if it's a domestic travel, then travel insurance is available whenever you're booking a flight ticket or a train ticket or a bus ticket. So almost anywhere you go and buy a ticket, so all the providers do provide you an option for travel insurance.
Yeah.
And they come up with there are comprehensive travel insurance products offering, and also there are parametric solutions also, like a flight delay cover, where you get a cash benefit in case if there is a flight delay.
Sure.
So all those things are already are available in a domestic circuit. But when you're traveling international, it is important to understand which country you're traveling to, and so it may be as a part of visa requirement to have a travel insurance. But I would rather recommend you to get a comprehensive travel insurance while traveling abroad, which includes your hospitalization expense and also trip cancellation, which can trigger before your trip starts or while you are on the trip, including a flight delay or any missed connection flight, or your checked-in baggage gets delayed, or there is a loss of checked-in baggage, or while you are on the trip where you might require hospitalization expenses or accidental emergencies, cases where you may require some kind of medical emergency, accidental emergencies or medical emergencies where you may require some kind of travel insurance support for expenses you will incur abroad. So their travel insurance comes handy.
That's interesting. So under what circumstances can a travel insurance policy come to my rescue? Especially when I'm traveling abroad.
Disha, while you're actually looking at a travel insurance, you need to see 3 aspects before you, like I said, before the start of the trip, where like your trip cancellation or your in case if there is a cover like cancellation by operator where a flight has been cancelled or the flight has actually been delayed or you have actually missed the flight. So depending upon the coverages available in the market, these are the coverages which may be handy before your trip starts. While you're on the trip, if there is something which happens to your checked in baggage, whether it gets delayed in the arrival or it's completely lost, or you're stuck in the airport because of the flight delay.
Right.
And so all those covers comes handy. And while on the trip, like if you require some kind of medical emergency support, or you even require emergency cash support. So those things are provided by travel insurance, and it's a really peace of mind in case specifically if you are traveling abroad, because you do not know the kind of you may not have the network to get which doctors to go, which hospitals to go. So you may just have to visit any hospitals, and then or you can connect with any of your insurance providers, and the TPA providers can help you out with all the emergency support required for travel insurance.
So say if I'm on a holiday in Paris or Amsterdam and I'm in trouble, I can just reach out to my insurer and they'll let me know which hospital or which doctor I can reach out to. Is that right?
Yes, so you can actually reach out to the insurance company and they can tell you about whatever hospitals is there in their network, and they can support you with those hospitals in the network. They cannot guide you in terms of this doctor is good and that doctor is good, because that's not the job of the insurance company. But yeah, they can at least tell you which is the network provider you can go to, which is part of the coverage.
Sure, that's actually quite a relief, because you don't want unforeseen events to ruin your holiday, right? My next question is something I read on Quora actually, and I think it's important to address this. Is travel insurance similar to health insurance? Can one see a doctor with just a travel policy?
Well, travel health is one of the component of travel insurance. Like I said, if there is any medical emergency support required, and if your policy covers medical hospitalization or medical emergency or a medical OPD event, then travel insurance can come in handy. And so in a way that statement is true, but travel is not just a health insurance.
Right.
It is much more than that. It protects you against any trip cancellation event or trip abandonment event or any kind of ancillary expenses related to while you're on trip. So it is much more comprehensive than just in health insurance.
Okay, that surely removes the ambiguity around the difference between health and travel insurance. Moving on, Nikhil, if I were to travel just say within India, what kind of a policy should I go for? Would a flight delay cover suffice?
Again, Disha, so most of the time I generally prefer a comprehensive travel insurance which is available in the market.
Why is that?
Because that includes flight delay, which is we are saying, and it also includes other cover, including personal accident, any accidental medical emergency that may arise.
Sure.
And some travel insurance may also cover you for home burglary or anything related to any fire damage while you are away from the home. So those things comes in handy, and that's a comprehensive travel insurance. But flight delay is itself a very good cover. And in case if you have other insurance solutions related to your accidental hospitalization or personal accident or home burglary already, and you may not really find it necessary to buy the entire comprehensive coverage, which may be the duplicacy of the cover, then flight delay itself can be very handy.
Got it. Also, there are single trip as well as multi-trip travel policies. So what's the distinction and how can one decide what they should buy?
So single trip and multi-trip travel insurance policies, which according to me is, well, suppose I am planning a travel event and I want to go visit Paris and come back. It's a single event for me, and I'll just book a travel insurance since my date of departure and date of arrival back to my country. Now, in case if I'm a frequent traveler and I know that in the next 1 year I'll be traveling like at least 10 different times outside the country, so I'd prefer to have a multi-trip travel insurance. Now, the advantage of having a multi-trip travel insurance for frequent traveler is that, one, I do not have to go and look for travel insurance every time when I'm going outside the country.
Right.
I'm covered for the entire year and I can go whenever I want and come back. So that's the advantage of it, and of course because of this you also get some kind of price advantage, because multi-trip travel insurance policies are slightly more beneficial when you compare to single trip policies, when you compare the entire travel duration you are there.
So premiums could be slightly discounted.
Yeah, because you are a frequent traveler.
Right. This is actually interesting, because you mentioned international travelers, but would a multi-trip policy make sense for somebody who, travels domestically, more frequently?
Yes, multi-trip travel insurance can be also handy if you are traveling frequently in domestic within India itself, and it's the same concept again, and you can get some kind of price benefits. And now in the last couple of years, multi-trip travel insurance have also come in India also. Previously only single trip used to be there, and it's recommendable to get multi-trip travel insurance policies. Specifically if you're traveling more than 4 times, 5 times in a year, it's better.
Actually, I was seeing our own data, the digit data, and there has been a gradual uptick in the number of people opting for multi-trip policies, and I think that says a lot. Nikhil, so my next question is not a reflection of what I intend to do on a holiday, but I think it's worth a clarification. So will I get covered if I'm under the influence of alcohol and get into an accident during my travel?
Well, Disha, a tricky question for me. Being an underwriter, I would not recommend you to be under the influence of alcohol and travel.
Absolutely.
But I would rather say it's important to see the policy terms and conditions. My sense is a lot of providers do carry it under exclusions, and your claims may not be admissible.
Okay.
And it is important for any traveler to go to check those wordings, understand what is covered, what is not covered, and in case if there is some clarity required, it is important to check with the insurance provider. That is why in Digit we have actually simplified the wording to such extent that even 15-year-old can actually comprehend the cover.
Fair enough. What about adventure sports? If I hurt myself during one of the activities, will my travel policy cover me should I get into an accident?
Again, if it's a simple activity like fishing or maybe trekking till a certain height of like 1000 meter or 2000 meter, some policies do cover it.
Okay.
And some policies actually keep adventure activities completely under exclusions. Like if you want to go to Mount Everest base camp, and not all policies cover, and some policies do cover it as an optional cover or as an add-on rider to your travel insurance. So it is important to understand whether it is covered or not in your policy, and if this option for you is available by your insurance provider or not.
Okay, so there are but a couple of insurers, at least in India, who give this as an add-on, right?
Yeah, that's what I believe.
Okay. Nikhil, I read somewhere that some regions may be classified as unsafe zones and may fall under exclusions under travel insurance plans. Is there a way to find out whether the place I'm traveling to is categorized as an unsafe zone by the insurer?
So first of all, before you actually check from the insurer website, it is always advisable to check the government advisory.
Right.
Whether the government of India has actually issued any advisory against traveling to that particular country that you're planning to visit. In case if that advisory is there, it is important to not actually travel to that country before you actually even check with the insurance company provider. But having said that, if the circumstances is to travel any country, irrespective of the advisory or not, you can check with the insurance company provider whether they are covering it as a part of their travel insurance or not. A lot of times what I believe is a part of sales literature or prospectus or any other document at the sales journey, there will be some kind of information given to you whether this country is available for travel or not.
Okay.
And at least that's what it should be there, and every insurance company would want their customers to be informed so that the grievances can be minimized.
I for one will definitely check the fine print before buying the policy. So Nikhil, I know I've already asked you some situational questions, but I have a few more instances, so please bear with me. Sure. Will my trip cancellation policy cover me if I get late to the airport and miss the flight? And also what if I decide to reschedule my travel?
Trip cancellation comes with set defined perils, and for example, if there is some kind of medical emergency or close family member succumbs to any kind of illness or injury, or there may be some kind of judicial proceedings against you where the court has asked you to come in, or some kind of pandemic related events, or government advisory not to travel to a particular country, or some kind of act of God peril which prevents you from traveling or going to a particular destination.
Right.
So those are certain kind of set perils that are defined under trip cancellation policy, which is the only condition where it can be triggered.
Okay.
Now you are coming to the very specific question: what if you are late in getting to the airport and miss the flight? they are generally not covered under trip cancellation policies, but there may be specific cover related to that in travel insurance by certain providers. It is important to check with your insurance provider whether that is covered or not. But in trip cancellation, this is generally not there.
I'll actually tell you why I asked this question, because when you're living in a city like Bangalore, you never know when the traffic might just ruin your plans. So if you get late to the airport because, say, there was a traffic jam or a roadblock, then you're saying perhaps an add-on could help.
Yes, it can help, and you can actually check with your while you're actually booking. It's important to keep traffic in mind while you're traveling. I generally prefer to check the Google map and see what is the time taking for the airport to reach, and then at least keep 2 hours buffer. Before.
Yeah.
These things are actually in your control. Insurance is about uncertainty. This is
not really an uncertainty. No, absolutely, it makes sense. Also, Nikhil, if one is traveling abroad, why is it important to declare any pre-existing illnesses that they may have?
It is important because first, insurance company might be asking you about these questions, and when they're asking you about these questions, they also expect you to answer very honestly. And whatever information you have about your health, it is advisable to declare to the insurance company, because let us be realistic. If an event comes and then at that point of time you decide that you are so and so things you did not declare, and because of that your claim has got stuck, you may be very sorry about it, and so those things should be avoided. And that is why it is important to declare anything which is relevant for the insurance company to underwrite you while you are traveling.
Absolutely, makes sense. So, would you suggest buying travel insurance directly from the insurer or from the online travel agent? I mean, would it make any difference at all?
Generally, it does not make any difference.
Okay.
It depends upon the choices of our customers, and for that matter, so in case if you are actually buying from an online travel agent, you may have an option to contact their call centers or their customer center executive in case if there is some kind of emergency, in addition to what insurance companies is providing in terms of their contact center, contact details whenever you require for insurance support. So you get multiple support. While you're traveling directly buying from insurance company, you can anyway connect with the insurance company directly. So it depends. It's a matter of choice of the consumer, and they can decide accordingly.
Okay. No, makes sense. Also, what kind of add-ons are available while buying travel insurance? Can you help us understand them a little bit more?
So there are, in comprehensive travel insurance, there are multiple options available, and again, it will be very difficult for me to list down all the particular travel add-ons, but it is
the more important ones, perhaps.
So the more important one is, specifically if you are traveling abroad, it is important to have a comprehensive medical insurance coverage, and because in terms of the hospitalization bill, suppose in US may be way too high compared to what it is in the rest of the world or even in India for that matter. Secondly, you may require coverages like loss of passport, because in case if your passport gets lost, then you incur some additional expenses in getting those necessary documents from the embassy, and your travel insurance may come in handy.
So there is an add-on for that, is it?
It's generally a part of cover provided by the insurance company, and some company may give it as an add-on. So you have to check out with your insurance provider.
Okay.
You may require cover related to flight cancellation, and specifically if there is a connecting flight for traveling abroad, missed connection can come in handy in case if one of the flight arrives late and the subsequent flight then departs. Specifically if they are managed by a different operator. A lot of time instances related to delay in arrival of checked-in baggage may impact you, get additional costs related to additional expenses related to your wardrobes and other necessary items. And again, home burglary is something that if it's available, I prefer to get it while you are away from the home. And there are lot of other expenses which may be necessary, but for me, these things are in a nutshell way too important. And of course, trip cancellation, not to forget.
Right. That was really helpful. Before we wrap up this conversation, Nikhil, I have a couple more questions which I think are extremely important. God forbid, if I must file a claim, what's the process? Are there any important documents that I need to keep handy?
So all the insurance companies will provide Disha to all their customers about the claim process documents. Comes with the part of sales literature or the policy wording documents that they will receive as part of the travel insurance.
Right.
And so one should carry those documents along with them when they are traveling. It will involve all the details related to the contact center, how they can reach out to their insurance company when they are abroad, and there will be series of all the claims documents that is necessary for them as a part of any claim filing related in any event that come where you may require to file a claim. Or one can also check out with the contact center or call center executives or their any insurance agents through which they have sourced the policy, what are the documents needed, and they can guide them.
Well, as you can see, I have taken note of this. And finally, Nikhil, under what circumstances can my travel insurance claim get rejected?
Multiple instances can lead to rejection of claims, and first of all, the event for which you are claiming is not part of your policy coverage terms and conditions. So in that scenario, your claims will not be admissible.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, in case if you are claiming for certain things which was a result of a misdeclaration, suppose you are claiming for a pre-existing condition like I mentioned before.
Right.
And at the time of claim, then the insurance company realized this is a pre-existing condition, but which you did not declare it while buying the policy, and then those things can be not covered, and specifically if the policy excludes any pre-existing condition as a part of its coverages. Other events can be related to some other any exclusions which may not be part of your coverages. So it's important to read those exclusions which is not covered under your policies.
Right. I'd rather be careful than have my claim rejected. Nikhil, this was such a fruitful conversation. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm sure our listeners will hear more from you on Insuring India. Thanks again.
Thank you, Desha.
Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to buy that travel insurance policy before your next trip. Have fun and stay safe. We'll be back soon with another episode of Insuring India, a podcast by Digit Insurance.